Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And since we are now in December, the month of December 2015, I figured I'd do, usually this time of the year, people like to do a lot of top 10 lists. So I figured I'd do a top 10 list of my own. And I'm going to do a top 10 list of or what I feel is the 10 greatest Christmas shows of all time. Now, most of these shows I've already done a review for, so you could check them out on my YouTube channel after you see this video. Of course, number 10 is start with. Next, we're going to go for 10 to 1. Number 10, of course, we're going to start with actually one of the better Christmas shows, and unfortunately, it's not going to get any airtime because of a certain little controversy with one of the creators of the show, which of course is the Fat Albert Christmas Show. No, of course, this show is about Christmas, and this old guy who owns the junkyard wants to tear down the clubhouse of Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Of course, during the course of the show, a poor family looking for a job. The father didn't, and the job fell through. And his wife was pregnant with the second child. And of course, he gives birth in the clubhouse, Fat Albert's clubhouse. And of course, the guy says, "Oh, since you gave birth here, I'm going to tear it down now." So that's a brief review of that. I knocked it down to 10 because of the controversy with, of course, creating the show, which of course was Bill Cosby. But the show still holds up since they know it's approximately about 40-year-old show. Number 9, of course, I have to go with the very first Christmas show, 1962's Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, which of course is a Broadway musical version of the famous Charles Dickens story, A Christmas Carol, starring Mr. Magoo. And of course, other characters I think that might have been used in the Mr. Magoo cartoons before. Now, of course, the characters are all based from the Charles Dickens story. But I think from time to time the people were used in the Mr. Magoo cartoons. But the show is still, even though it's not that many people know about this show, but it still holds up to this particular day because it's that good. Number 8, of course, I have to go with one of the more classical Christmas shows from the Rankin Bass production of The Little Drummer Boy. But man, I forgot the title from that. The Little Drummer Boy, which is of course the classic Rankin Bass stop action animated show, which is made the same way as Rudolph and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. From the same company. So, and of course, it shows a little drummer boy who hates humans. All of a sudden, comes across the birth of Christ, and of course, he decides to play his drum as a gift because he had no gift because he was a poor kid and renewed his faith in people. Number 7, I have to go with, of course, getting into a little more of the Rankin Bass company. Of course, it's Frosty the Snowman. Of course, Frosty, of course, is one of the better Christmas shows, and I did do a full review of this one, and I feel it is one of the better productions, even though I did nitpick over it in that review. If you want to see what my nitpick is, you can check it out. But it's a classic in so many ways because it's like so many Christmas shows during the Christmas specials were made in the 1960s. Of course, it's based on a song. And what makes these shows good, of course, it tells you the backstory of these famous characters, and that's made famous in the songs. So you have to, of course, know the song and know some of the bits, and they do use parts of the song within the show. And of course, during the closing credits, they do the full song in the credits. And what made Frosty the Snowman even better, you had Jimmy Dramatic narrate the show, and they made a caricature of Jimmy Durante throughout the show. Plus, the rabbit was cute. The rabbit, Hocus Pocus, it was cute. Uh, plus, number six. Of course, you have to go. I have to pick my number six show, favorite show of the Christmas shows. I have to pick. Of course, Santa Claus is coming to town. Of course, once again, it's made by Rankin and Bass, and of course, tells the backstory of Santa Claus. And of course, the show, like a lot of the Christmas shows in the 1960s and early 70s, it has a very famous store narrate the story, which of course in this case was Fred Astaire. And they use a caricature of Fred Astaire in the show. And you also have Mickey Rooney as the voice of Kris Kringle / Santa Claus. And it tells you the backstory of how Santa Claus became Santa Claus. Basically, what's it? Basically, that's what the story is. And the only other holiday special that's almost exactly like Santa Claus is coming to town is, of course, the Easter Bunny coming to town, which I did a review of both of these shows, and you could look them up. Now I'm getting into the nitty gritty here. Now I'm getting into like the top five. The fifth favorite show they have to go that they could pick is, of course, the number five show is, of course, it's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. I put this up a little bit higher because it's very, very good. It also tells a very, very good story. And of course, "Twas the Night Before Christmas" is, of course, based on the famous poem of the same name. It stars Joe Gray, of all people, Jennifer Gray's father. And I also did a review on this show as well. And briefly, is that Joe Gray plays like a clockmaker, or his character is a local clockmaker, makes his clock for Santa Claus. And of course, the backstory is that Santa Claus hates this town with this fictional town where his characters live in. So he makes the clock for Santa Claus, and of course, what happens, of course, Santa Claus does come at the end eventually. And of course, at the end, of course, you hear Joe Gray reading the poem of "Twas the Night Before Christmas." It's like in the last 5 minutes of the show. But the rest of the show is pretty good as far as songs in this special. Of course, my number four pick is, of course, I have to pick Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's my number four pick. Now, the reason why I'm picking number four, so maybe a touch higher, is, of course, if you see my review of that show, you know why? Because Rudolph was treated like crap through his whole life, and then because somebody says, "Oh, I'm sorry for treating you like shit, Rudolph. Can you fly Santa's sleigh tonight because of this bad weather?" They wouldn't do it. No normal human being or no normal animal would do that. Now, because it's a Christmas show, we want to give like a positive message of forgiveness. This is a total bullshit thing. Forgiveness is total bullshit. If somebody does you wrong the whole life, and that's because they say you're sorry, you should help them out, fuck them. Fuck Santa for treating him like shit like that. Number three, my number three favorite show, the Christmas special, is, of course, it's the Whitefield Christmas show. The reason why I picked this show for number three is because it is a pretty good show. It doesn't hit you over the head with the religious angle. It's not based on a Christmas song. It's just a straight out Christmas themed story. So Whitefield's owner John takes him and Odie to his parents' house, which is a farm out in the boondocks. And when you meet John's brother, you meet John's parents, and John's grandmother, and of course the grandmother, even though she was like an over-the-top grandma character in the film, in the show. If it's on YouTube, you can check it out. I mean, she was really an over-the-top character. And of course, it shows or she tells her own story to Gwenfield. It's a Gwenfield only why she's bummed out during Christmas time. She tells a story about her late husband, how she was a good provider. He does all this stuff, and uh, sorry about the interrupt. Everybody's always interrupting me here. Um, and this is important to call back. Uh, but and and she tells her how she could provide and all that stuff. And it says Hawaii, she's all bummed out at Christmas time because that's when they had the best. She has the best memories of Christmas time. My number two favorite Christmas show is I have to go with Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, which came out which originally aired on PBS in 1978. Of course, the reason why the show was so good was number one, no Elmo. Number two, no quick cuts. Like you have a Sesame Street show today. And three, you had characters who are no longer alive, who have since passed away, even starring on the show. Most notably, you had Mr. Hooper, who died like by I think 4 years after the show originally aired. You had Maria, who retiring, who does announce her retirement not that long ago. You had Olivia, who played Gordon's sister, who since passed away. But when Maria didn't pass away, she just retired. You also had David, who also since passed away. So you had a couple of people who are no longer living on this show. Plus, also you didn't have Mr. Hooper on here. But this show is a classic on every single level because it's a good story through the whole 1 hour show, and it's very very good. It still holds up, and it's even though I'm no longer over 7 years old when the show first aired, I'm not a little kid anymore. But I have the DVD of it, and I did a review of this show previously, and this show is, to me, still holds up. Of course, my number one pick for the greatest Christmas special of all time, is of course Charlie Brown Christmas, which this year in 2015 is celebrating its 50th anniversary. So happy anniversary, Charlie Brown! And this show still holds up, and to me, I still consider it the best Christmas show of all time, because unlike all the other shows that I mentioned on this list, plus the shows I did a full review on, this show explains what the holiday is supposed to be about. None of the other shows I mentioned on this list, or none of the Christmas shows we grew up with, mention what the holiday is supposed to be about. The holiday Christmas is all, and like Tony Brown says, isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? And that is my frustration in watching these Christmas shows, is that they don't explain what the holiday is. And I feel that Charlie Brown Christmas does explain what it is. And even though it's 50 years old this year in 2015, it's more modernized than any other Christmas show ever. It means it brings out the commercialism of Christmas, brings out that you can't get modern Christmas trees anymore. You get these fake metal trees. You get, the frustration with Charlie Brown, and the depression factor that people have for this time of the year, and all that stuff is just merged into the show, and it's that good. I mean, I can't really knock the Charlie Brown Christmas. The only thing they could possibly knock it for was the lousy, god awful, cannot possibly suck enough 1 hour special that ABC had. Because the Charlie Brown Christmas just aired this week, and they had this stupid, god awful, crappy 1 hour special, and it was awful. It's just awful. I mean, we didn't have a lot of the songs that's based with the Charlie Brown mythos, and with all the other specials, anime, films, and so forth. but the show didn't really. It made me feel better if it was a real documentary on the actual special, on the actual Charlie Brown Christmas show, instead of doing all this other crap, uh, you know, outside of the show. The specials, so-called greatest moments, instead of doing the whole 1 hour documentary on the special, on the show itself, on the Charlie Brown Christmas show itself. They did a whole 1 hour show that has the majority of it, like about 50 minutes of it, had nothing to do with the actual special itself, which sucks. It just totally sucks. Uh, it was awful. But the naturally, of course, the cartoon itself is still classified with a little tree that Charlie Brown picks out. Uh, because even Snoopy gets into the commercial side of Christmas, with the lion contest, and the show still holds up. 50 years later, the show still holds up, and it's still better than the majority of the Christmas shows. There's very few things that I can nitpick about. There's very few things that I'm sure that any other YouTube critic out there could nitpick about. So that's my list of my top 10 favorite Christmas shows of all time. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And also you can check out all of my videos on not only on my YouTube channel, but also go to rowdyc.com. That's all WDY, C.com. It's the home website of the Rowdy Reviewer. He's also done a couple of other. He trashed some bad TV specials or Christmas specials, but he hasn't. Well, I'm not going to criticize him. And he has done reviews of bad Christmas specials. Suggest you check them out. I haven't gone. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to do a bad Christmas show review. A top 10 list of that. I just want to do the 10 good ones. That's if I get some feedback asking me to do a top 10 worst Christmas special list. I already did one recently, which was of course the Frosty Returns show, which is awful. So, like I said, please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment, please subscribe to my channel, and check out all my videos not on my YouTube channel but on rowdyc.com. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.